Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine, and I'm going to start off with 30 minutes of my day. I'm working on, this morning, The Country Banker. I'm really finally happy with how this cover turned out. It gave me a bit of trouble. I'm still not done. Um, it's so old. This book is 110 years old. So some of the fabric here on the shoulders is wearing away to just nothing. So I am going to have to, here, let me get that off. I am going to have to fortify that. I'll just use probably some of my really fine, more expensive cheesecloth, not my dollar store cheesecloth, and put down a layer right against where these shoulders are, and give those holes, they're here and here, and give them a bit of strength. And then I think it'll be terrific. I love how it looks. I've sealed it 3 times. I first went over it with some liquid Mod Podge, this stuff, and I purposefully texturized it. I did sort of a swirling motion with my paintbrush because I like how that looks on a plain cover. It almost gives it like a leather look I've mentioned before. And then it was still, it still had some damage to it in that. So I actually went over it in a swirling motion with vintage photo distress ink, and sort of created some shading and shadows here and there. Where it was wearing out here on this one side, it was quite, the wearing of the fabric lightened up from the other brown. You know the way blue jeans fade in certain areas and they go white, they lose their blue and they go white. That's what was happening here. And so I went over it with the distress ink, and then I have since sealed it twice with a matte sealant. I have a Krylon matte sealant, and I'm really happy with how this looks now. It really looks, I mean, I was going to say it looks antique. It is antique. It's 110 years old. This is an old fella. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. So I will be putting in fabric there. I have a slightly curved spine liner to go back in when when that's done, so that it'll just have a lovely delicate little curve here. And then today I was working on the signatures. I've got 7 signatures done and sizes checked. I was having a bit of an off day last week, and I didn't have the length done. Oh boy, it was just one of those. Maybe it was the heat getting to me. Who knows? Anyhow, so these are all ready. I'm really happy with how they are. I put in the center of the 4th signature, I'm going to sew in an airmail envelope, tea-dyed. I've opened it up. So what I'm going to be doing is sewing it into the signature, and then when that's done, I'll close that part up again and glue those shut so that it's still an envelope, but it's in the center. Do you know what I mean? It's just a cool little thing that you can do with envelopes, and I think that will also look nice. Now I have the tabs ready. I made tabs from, because there's 7 signatures, I made tabs from the first 7 chapters of the actual book. So I really love how these turned out. And I put the, like you can see here, that's Country Ban is because the first chapter actually said Country Banker there. And I like when that happens. I love when it's evident that this was a book that was taken apart and put back together again in a new way. So So these are ready to go. So there will be 7 going down the side here. I'm going to put them on afterwards rather than before sewing. I'm quite a vigorous signature sewer. So I'm going to put these in after it's all done. So I'm going to put them aside. I've got my trusty little basket here as ever. For some strange reason, I have several books on the go right now. And I can't explain why. Maybe I'm scatterbrained and I need to keep changing things up. But I have Wind in the Willows going on, almost done. I have Stuart Little going on, almost done. I just want to put one more thing into my book. I want to put a folded tag. See how these tags, I was using up leftover heavy paper. It's not really cardstock, it's just really heavy paper. I love when you can make a tag that actually is folded so you can sew it into your signature. So that's what I want to do with this piece here. I finished cutting up into more usable shapes that record album sleeve that I had from that Mario Lanza record. So I have this, and I'm going to make a foldable tag to sew in here. So I'm going to get that done. I have steno paper tea dyeing downstairs, so I'm hopefully going to be able to get that outside and dried before the rain comes. Apparently we're going to get rain. And then I was going through my papers and I found another pad of steno paper. And so I took the spring out of it because I love the little circles. And I'm going to go down. I've still got, actually I'm using coffee. I said tea dyeing, but it's coffee today. I'm going to pull the ones out of the coffee and put these ones in. And hopefully I'll be able to get this done. Now let's see how wide this is. So it's about 28. Now how wide are these signatures? Because I don't want the tag as wide. So yeah, see, that'll be too wide. So I want to take a bit off. I guess I shouldn't have put that away yet. So I want my tags to be, I want them to come out to maybe about there, but wait, no, there. All right, let's do it. Oh, what do they have it at? So if that's, let's do it at 22. That way the center is 11. Okay. Alrighty. I've made a huge decision this weekend with encouragement from my sweetie pie. We live in a little house, just the 2 of us now, after a big family, and when we blended families, we still had many at home, and we even had a few extras thrown in for good measure. It's just 2 of us now, so that's when we downsized, and we actually moved to the town where our children were all buying houses. Because we figured, why fight it? If we don't live in the town where they live, we're going to be spending our life on the road. So, and we're very happy. I love our little town. I love it. And I'm a big city girl. Toronto's a big city. 4th biggest in North America. Big, bustly, busy city. I don't miss it at all. I love our little town. I love it. We have a teeny tiny little hospital. We have a few little stores. We have a bigger town with, hold on, I'm looking for this. It's right beside me. Anyhow, back to, gosh, I wonder, back to our little house. We have 3 bedrooms, and of course there's just the 2 of us. So we have the master bedroom, which is for us and Miss Dorothy, who is our roommate. I must not have got, I'm looking for the pencil lines. I wanted to erase them. No pencil lines. this is just a tag punch. So right now my studio is in the smaller bedroom. And it was actually my husband he was looking at the bigger bedroom this weekend and looking in at my at my crowded space in here. And of course looked at the box of books that I bought. I went to my Kirby book sale and came home with a box of books. And it was actually he who said, you know what? Why are you crammed in the little bedroom? Let's move you into the big bedroom. And at first I thought, no, I'm not doing it. And don't encourage my bad habit of bringing home thrifted stuff. But he loves to see me happy. So we made the decision, and I'm going to switch over from this little room into the bigger room. It's much bigger. It's probably 50% bigger than this room. It's going to give me a lot more room. And decided also to actually put in not all new office furniture, but I am going to treat myself to, I'm going to put in an entire wall of bookcases in this room so that I can get my books sorted out, because I have so many different kinds of books. I have books that I know are going to become journals. I have books that are specifically for cutting up, fussy cutting. I have other books that are the guts from other books that I like to pull pages from to use as an entire page spread. There's just a lot, and some are in boxes here. I do know where everything is, but it would be nicer to have them a little bit more accessible. And for the rare occasion, because everyone lives in town, we really seldom have company sleepover, especially now in a pandemic, but it's very seldom. Maybe at Christmas we will have someone, because we've got the extra queen size bed, so it's very easy to say, yeah, send them over, they can sleep at our house. So we made the decision. This room that I'm in right now can easily hold our queen size bed for our spare room. So why should the big room that's next door, I'm pointing at it here in case you're wondering, why should it sit there not being used with just a bed in it when I could make use of extra space? So now I'm very excited, and I'm sort of deciding how I want to lay it out. I know I want to put bookcases along one wall, and then I also want I want to recreate my cockpit here. I like to, I imagine myself as a pilot stepping down into the cockpit, and everything that I want is within reach of what I'm working on, like as I just reached for this. So, do I want that color? I think I want the darker ones. Do I want darker? Yeah, I want darker. So, or do I want red? No, I don't want the red. No. So I've got to decide my layout. I have 3 tables. One table is actually my desk here. And one table is my paper, my big paper cutter and presses, my several different presses. And one table is sort of sewing, dedicated to my sewing machine and threads and buttons, and underneath it is bins of, fabric and that sort of thing. So I want to figure out ahead of time. I already like the color of that room better. This room is still sort of this minty green. I think it was a nursery. The people who owned it before, I think this was their baby's nursery. And it's kind of a candy, minty, mint chocolate chip green. And it's not my favorite. So we may think about, once we move over into that room and have this room empty, giving it a coat of paint while it's empty. You know how it's so much easier to paint an empty room than to try and paint around furniture. I'm just going to make a tab. Whenever I've got such a tiny little piece of cardstock that really isn't any good for anything, I make folded tabs. And I've got a bin of them over there so that whenever I need an emergency tab, I've got all kinds to choose from. It's just something I do. All right, let's get you in here. Now it's tricky because it's so small. It's hard to fit. Hope I'm in. It's hard to fit this where I want it, and sometimes it's easier to use my tweezers. There we go. Now you still have to finagle it so that fold, yeah, you're not going to, so that the fold is not going to get chopped off. There we go. Okay, I use my tweezers all the time. You know what, if I've got time after this, I may grab, I got a couple of books. There we go. And then that piece is going to be stuck in there till the next time I use it, but I've just surrendered to that. I got a few books. On the weekend, I went to my little Kirby Church book sale. I'm always a little panicky because they said they are going to shorten their months this year because of the pandemic. But it's run by a bunch of people that don't use social media. So the only way to know if it's open or not is to just go, which is can be very disappointing. Which one's this? Fifth? Let's put this in here. It can be very disappointing to get all the way there and it's not open. So, oh yeah, that'll look nice. So see what I've done here? So it's, and then I don't want it perfectly center. I like them a little bit lower. All right, so there, that's good. So I panic. Usually I limit myself to going once a month. I go on the day my husband works. But I've been a few times extra this summer because I'm worried that they are going to decide. There's really only 3 main people who work there. And normally I would volunteer to help them. I could. I just worry for my own sake that I wouldn't stop grabbing books for myself. So it's probably not a good idea. I thought about offering to help them by offering to be their social media person if they would have me. They're getting to know me now, and they're always very kind. When I arrive, they had a book saved for me this week again. So I'm almost tempted maybe to bring it up to them that I would be happy to handle making sure that there's something on social media to announce, yes, it's open, no, it's closed, or altered hours, or that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about maybe, I mean, I can always offer and they can always say no thank you, right? All right, so those are ready. I'm going to be paper clipping them together. Now, hold on. Let me see about my time. How am I for time? Oh, 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to pause you and I'm going to go grab the books that I got. Hold on. Okay, so I got a few interesting ones. I like this one. It's the collected poems of Rupert Brooke. But I really loved the spine on it, is what I especially drew me to it. It's got the having I'm having a a brain melt here. It's got the bands across the spine, and I just love that, and the little tulips on it. Um, and I love this. That's got the corners already on it. I might play around with it. We'll see. It already has marbled paper inside. I forget what year it is. Let's find out, shall we? Or was this the one 1913? So I think it 1920. 1920. So it's 100 years old. Lovely. That's going to make a beautiful journal. Happy with that. They saved this for me, and I just threw it in my box. I'm not sure I'll use it. I don't particularly like the illustrations. There's no date in it, and I actually don't think it's that old. Oh wait, there is there copyright? No, they put a copyright in, but they didn't put the year. Anyhow, they were so happy. Oh, we saved this for you, and I just didn't have the heart to say, ew, I don't like that. I mean, it was $1, and it goes to a good cause. So if I can give them $1, I'm happy to give them $1. Now I like this book. This book, it's just plain. It's the insides that I like. I'm not sure I'll ever use the cover. It's just another drawing book. I have one from the 1940s that I love and pull from all the time. It's just got beautiful charcoal and pencil sketches. And I love it. Oh, look at that gorgeous tree. Isn't that beautiful? So a whole bunch of really gorgeous old trees. So I love this one. What year is this? 1950. So it's an old one. It's 70 years old. I liked this one. I'm a little disappointed when I grabbed it. I just grabbed it and threw it in my bag. Sometimes I just buy books purely because the cover is pretty. I thought the red was on the cover, but the red is actually a protectant. So it's still pretty, but I wish it did have the red there. So I guess maybe I can just go ahead and do that. We'll see. Aucassin and Nicolette and Other Romances. Oh my. Cute. This next big book, where do you see it? I hope it fits in it's huge. Big flat book. Maybe I should see if I can lift this. Hold on. Okay. This book is huge. I don't know if it gives you any indication, the camera, how big it is. It is 13.5 by 10.25, and then it's 1.5 inches thick. Their gardening section is where it used to be the front doors of this old stone church. And you have to step down into it. There's gardening books, and then you step back up out of it. And so I went down into the gardening section. I always check because that's where, if I'm going to find an Edith Holden book, it will be there. They always put Edith Holden in with the garden section. But I spotted this, and I grabbed it, and I was holding on to it, and then this elderly man came in the door, and he looked at me, and then he looked down, and then he looked at me, and he said, "Did you find that book here?" And I said, "Well, yes, amongst all the other books." And he said, "Oh, that was mine." And I said, "Oh?" And he said, "Yes, this pile here, they're mine. I just put them there. I had to go do something." So, and then I felt badly because, you know what, he was a sweet little elderly gentleman. So I said, I obviously I couldn't hide that I was disappointed. And I said, "Oh, okay, well, here you go." And then he looked at the books he had, and he goes, "You know what? I don't need it. You have it." And so then I felt, I say, "No, you take it. And he said, "No, really, you know what? I don't need it. You take it. And actually, he said, oh, are you a gardener? And part of me froze. The junk journalist will know I froze because I thought, I don't want to tell him, well, I'm going to take it home and actually I'm going to cut it up. So I just said, I'm an artist and I love making use of books like these. I said the artwork inside is exquisite. And which is true, right? It's true. So anyhow, he said, no. He says, you know what? I've got enough books here. I didn't need that one as well. You keep it. So I got it. And it's just full of beautiful flower illustrations. They're not photos. They're illustrations. So it's just beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Look at all those. Oh, I love it. And you know what? I have more than enough flower books, but these, I just couldn't resist these. Ugh. That darn timer. Darn it. Time's up. Anyhow, so that's how I got this one. I was hopeful for it when I first saw it because it said illustrated by Leslie Greenwood. And I thought, oh, good. That means it's not photos. And sure enough, yeah, it's not photos. So I'm going to have to move quick because I'm going to get cut off by my phone. Here is one of my wonderful things that I got. The Girl's Own Annual. 1888. And it's huge. And it is just chock full of gorgeous artwork. It's just beautiful. All these beautiful. It's all black and white, which is what, you know what? I love black and white equally as well as color, especially with very old things. They had that in there. This was off on a side table and I thought they were saving it for someone. And of course I immediately fell in love with it. So I was hugging it to my chest and I went up to the one lady who works there. And I said, is this being saved for someone? And she said, no. She said, we just had it on the table in case it caught someone's eye. And I said, oh, it caught mine. And she goes, well, very good. Enjoy. So, look at the beautiful artwork in it. And I even love all these. Looks like it was a sort of a little newsletter for girls. And then what they've done is they collected the entire year's worth and put them into a book. But the artwork is just, oh, look at her. I can't wait to use these. So beautiful. So pretty. So I'm very happy. This could last me for the rest of my career, my junk journaling career. Look how pretty. I was surprised when I read through this. There are articles on biology, like arteries and veins and circulation. There were, look how pretty, articles on astronomy, like science. I was just really pleased. Oh, look at the flaw in the printing. I love that. I was pleased because for a newsletter that was meant for young ladies, that it wasn't just simple, frilly, fluffy young lady type things that they thought young ladies should be learning about. That there actually was brain things in that book. It made me happy, especially in 1888. Now, here's what I found. I got a whole box of these. There's 10 volumes, and I got all 10 volumes. Isn't that beautiful? I already have some journeys through Bookland, different other years, because they change from year to year when they would create them. Look at that embossing. Isn't that nice? These ones are 1922. So these aren't my first, but this is the first time I've ever found the entire series. All 10. 1922. Not very many color plates inside. He's a little scary looking. Maybe about 2 or 3 per book, but that's all I need, because a book like this is the kind of book that I would prefer to make into a writing type journal for someone who sits and records the comings and goings of their life. So, yeah, 10 of these. I'm so happy. Look at that beautiful color, blue, and then the ship journeys through Bookland. I'm very happy. So I'm going to enjoy making 10 journals out of these. All right, I'm at 32 minutes, so I've already surpassed, I promised you 30 minutes of my day, so we're already doing better. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you're safe and healthy, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.